I'm Matt Thramer from the Landmark Implement location in Hastings.
I'm Matt Stripe from the Red Cloud Landmark location.
And I'm Shayla from the Fairfield location, and today we're going to go over maintenance on your 600 series flex heads. Alright, so on our flex heads we've got the auger and the auger fingers that help deliver your crop into the feeder house. These fingers are made of poly. It's good practice to check these and your guides and your bearings in there and replace those if there's too much play. Another common wear item on our flex heads is the sickle sections and your guards. These act as scissors, so it's good practice to replace them both when you replace one. We've got our long shorts and our long longs. We recommend coarse for cutting beans, and the long shorts or short longs are good for your no-till conditions and your long longs for most other conditions. We also have the option of black and green when it comes to guards. Same purpose. The green is a high wear, so it can last up to 2 times longer. For your reel fingers, these are made of a strong poly, but it's also a good practice to check these and replace these as necessary as well.
We're going to go over maintenance on the 600 flex head. The first thing we're going to start with is the maintenance of the multicoupler. It's very important to keep this clean and make sure that the electronic connector is cleaned. And if it's dirty in there, you want to use electronic cleaner only, not brake clean. As we walk around the machine, we have some grease points on the machine, and one is on this drive line, and it's a 50-hour grease zerk. And you'll line this hole up, and there's a slide in there. There'll be a grease zerk in there, and you'll line it up and grease the slide as well as the 2 U-joints on each end. They're a small U-joint, so a couple pumps every 50 hours should do it. Another part of the maintenance on the 600 flex head is the belt. It's got a gauge here. You adjust the washer down to the tip of the gauge. You got the correct belt tension. The chain, you just adjust it until it comes up off of this wear guide, and keep it oiled. The other main checkpoint is on the cutter bar gear case. The cutter bar gear case needs to have 10 pumps every 200 hours of use, or when you first start in the beginning of the year, in that grease zerk on the top of the cutter bar gear case. And one other thing on maintenance is you want to make sure that this poly sleeve inside this cutter bar head is tight, and if it's not, you'll need to replace it, because that's what adjusts your clearance between your guard and your sickle section. To make the header float, you've got Hydroflex cylinders located across the head, and these cylinders will leak oil. So if your combine, you ever start running low on oil, the first place to check is your head, because one of the cylinders or the hoses could have failed, causing all the oil to come out of it. On the maintenance on the reel, there's 2 grease zerks, one on each side on the end, and that's a 50-hour grease zerk as well. On the reel, one thing that will wear over time is these plastic bushings on the ends. You'll have some clearance, but when they start getting wore out, you'll need to replace them, and also check the tube to make sure the tube is not about ready to wear through, because it will break in half. One wear item underneath of the head is this yellow skid plate, and it will need to be replaced if it starts wearing on the front or on the back. They'll come off of there. If you start to see these wear on the front or on the back, you need to make sure and adjust your cutter bar angle on the front of the combine. On the header, as you get a lot of acres on it, you'll start to see holes start to wear in the bottom of the header. There is a poly option that you can add into the machine. If you have any questions on your equipment, contact your local Landmark location, and they'll be happy to help you with any questions.